We're singing number 73, Enter, Rejoice, and Come in our New Century hymnal. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open yourself to the song. Open yourself to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Richardson Dress. I am one of the pastors here at UCC Longmont. My pronouns are she and hers, and along with Reverend Sarah Verasco and all of the folks who come together to make worship happen on Sunday morning, the staff and the volunteers, I get to welcome you to this place. This is a community of grace. And by that I mean that this is a place where you can come bringing that whole complex bundle that it is to be human. So whatever it is that you are bringing with you today, however you woke up this morning and however you are showing up right now, whether that's in the sanctuary in person or at home or online another time, know that that is welcome here. And that we are joined in that spirit of welcomeness, even if we are not physically together at this moment. Friends, you are loved. Loved, as we say on Ash Wednesday, with an unshakable love. So let that rest on you a little bit this morning as we pause just in the silence. And tune in and see if you can notice that love maybe a little differently than you have so far today. And it is from that place of love where it is our tradition to greet one another each time that we gather, using the words that are in your bulletin. No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. This service is a service for people of all ages and abilities, so know that movement is welcome. There is a coloring table at the back of the sanctuary for anybody who thinks and prays better when their hands are moving. There's a staffed nursery in the back. And if at any point you just need to move to be more comfortable, to see or to hear better, feel free to do that.
I want to invite you to join in the gathering words as they're printed in the bulletin and as they appear on the screens. Your part will be the bolded part, so it's a bit of an echo experience. Beautiful possibilities. Each day emerges from the last, and potentials rise to kiss the sky. In this place between starshine and clay, we gather. Flesh beautiful flesh, the stuff of stars and matter, today mattering slowly but patiently, emerging into beautiful possibilities. And only time will tell of and speak to the way our possibilities will emerge with one another's. So, hurting we emerge. Hopeful we emerge. Knowing that in this place our sacred flesh isn't just tolerated, but welcomed. Nourished. Sought for. Amen and amen. Let's rise in spirit and sing in the New Century Hymnal, the hard-covered hymnal number 433, "In the Bulb There Is a Flower." Please be seated. I think it just needs to be said that I've been counting down Sundays, not because I'm super excited, although there are moments of excitement, but this is like Sunday number 3. And in that hymn that we just sang, "In Our End is Our Beginning," I had to stop singing for a second. And so I just want to acknowledge that that might be a part of what we're all experiencing together at different moments, and that, as Amelia so graciously says in her welcome, there's space for that. So I just want to acknowledge that there's space for that. This morning is Ask a Question Sunday. So we invited folks to ask a question, and we're excited to share those with you. We're going to do that in just a moment. But first, I want to share just a few little things. Sometimes these things come up in trivia games, and they're important for you to at least have a ballpark answer. In the Gospels, it's reported that Jesus asks somewhere between 307 and 339 questions. I haven't counted these myself. Maybe I'll do that someday if I get bored, but not yet. By comparison, Jesus answers somewhere between 183 and 187. So by round numbers, to all the math folks in our midst, round numbers, the ratio is about 7 to 4. Asking 7 questions, answering 4. Seems to me that ratio is a bit more natural for young people to ask questions. and a bit harder as we age because there's an expectation that we might have some answers. So I want to remind you of that ratio, 7 to 4, asking to answering. What's more important, the answers or the questions? In Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, I've never really thought of this verse in the context of questions, but I think it's more interesting when I do. See what you think. This is the verses ask, search, and knock. Jesus says, ask and it will be given you, search and you will find, knock and the door will be opened for you. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. Have you ever thought about a question as opening a door? Or asking a question as knocking on a door? It's curious to think that the answer isn't an open door, but the question is. The question as a portal or a threshold or a door into a new place, into a new landscape. The Gospel of John, which is the fourth gospel, both in our Bibles and the last one to be written, frames the gospel with important questions. It seems as though John was probably familiar with all the other gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and was onto this pattern of asking questions and not just answering. Because the Gospel of John frames that gospel with two really important questions. In the very beginning, the first question that Jesus asks in chapter 1, verse 38 is, what do you seek? In other words, what are you looking for? And in other translations, what do you want? A parent's primary question, what do you want? Maybe not asked in the same way. And then the gospel continues, and we get to the last question that Jesus asks. Do you love me? And he asks that how many times? Say it. 3. 3 times. Do you love me? Tend my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Imagine those 2 questions being paramount for a life of discipleship. What are you looking for? And that's the doorway into following Jesus. And then at the last, do you love me? Jesus asks. We'll leave you with those questions. And for now, I'm going to invite Amelia to come over because we're excited to explore with you the questions that were posed for this service.
And we have a fun one to start with that you all are also going to start with. And this question is, if you could be any animal besides a human, what would that animal be and why? So, with people who are near you, if you're comfortable diving into what animal you would be and why, with a few folks who are near you, we're going to give you a few minutes to get to know each other and to answer that question. And then Sarah and I are going to come back and we will share our answers. So we'll take a few minutes with this, maybe groups of 3 to 4. We have just another moment, so if not everybody in your group has had a chance to share about their animal, you'll want to give them a chance to share. I'm curious about what kind of answers we got. Is there anybody that wants to just share their animal that they chose? Gorilla. Yeah. Dolphin? Yeah. Elephant. Did I hear somebody back here? Lion. Lion. Glenn would like to be Barbara's dog. An eagle. Nice. Yeah. A white pelican. Very. Oh, yeah. Koala. Nice. Sarah, what was your animal?
My animal was a turtle because it can live on land and in the water. And then I could also hide in my shell and pretend I'm not home.
I'm going to share mine, but I think I missed a hand. Yeah. Butterfly. Beautiful. Yeah. And mine was an otter because then I could be in the water and on land. And also I like that they're kind of social with other otters and have like a good little community.
All right, so now that we're all warmed up, we have another question. If you could look at UCC Longmont 3 years down the road, what would you like to see? I want to be clear, this is not a question for me to answer, and it's really not even a question for Reverend Amelia to answer, but it is one for her to facilitate.
When I was thinking about this question, and this is one that is going to come back to you in just a moment if you like to be thinking a little bit ahead. But I think about the way that Jesus told us to live when he was asked, what is the best way to live, or what are the commandments? And he said, to love God with all your heart and your soul and your mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's what we have to ground who we are in. And so as we think about this question, and I want to put it back to you in a little bit of a different way, which is, if you were looking at this community in 3 years, how would we know if we have loved God with our heart, mind, and soul, and loved our neighbor as ourselves? And so this is another chance for you. There is space here. If you prefer to think about this question just kind of inwardly and prayerfully, take that space. If you are up for getting back with some groups of some people who are nearby you to think about that a little bit outwardly, then that freedom exists as well. So this question has a little bit of a choose your own adventure in how you answer. And we'll spend a few minutes with this as well. looks like many conversations are still happening and some others are winding down. So let's just take another minute to cover anything that's you haven't had a chance to bring forward yet. I know this was a bigger question maybe than what's your favorite animal, although what's your favorite animal was actually kind of hard for me to, or not what's your favorite animal, what would you like to be, was kind of hard to answer. So maybe it wasn't bigger, but is there anybody who would like to briefly share what they heard or what came to them? And we do have a microphone available as well.
Judy and I were talking about if we were to look at this church 3 years from now and to know that we were following what Rev. Amelia said, was that we would just see these pews filled and we'd feel a buzz of love and there'd be a ton of diversity. And I think Judy was talking about at one point these pews were really filled, but it was a different time when a lot more people came to church. But that's kind of, I think we had a similar vision on that one, so there might be something there.
Yeah, that question of living faithfully in a different time just comes up and comes up, doesn't it? Is there any, yeah. A big stretch, which means it's a great answer.
All right. A little yoga before service. I was thinking just even more diversity here of age, race, culture, languages, and abilities.
Interesting.
I'd like to just see a little bit more of that.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? I'm back here, perfect, because I'm back at this section.
We also talked about diversity, Jennifer, and some things that we're doing now that we are hoping will create a welcoming place for everyone. And when you have a welcoming place, then diversity happens. Mm-hmm. And the other thing we talked about was, welcoming in the people that use our facility as, having as many combinations of you, Shabbat, Iglesias. And then I've always thinking about the choir. So in 3 years, thinking about having a vibrant choir. Always.
Yeah. Hearing that, just a commitment to the arts and also the different ways we worship. All right, Sarah gets the next one for us, I think. Oh, no. Do I get to ask the next one?
I think I do. Oh, no, you do. Wait.
The next question that came was a question about this particular time of transition in the congregation as Sarah prepares for retirement and I prepare for moving into the senior pastor role. And the question was this. It was, how do we grieve Sarah's leaving and celebrate Amelia's becoming senior minister? And this person said, these juxtapositions happen all the time in life, but that does not make them easy. And that is so true. And I want to really say being mindful of creating that space is the basis of that. And so the question itself is wise. It's one of those where the questions is probably more important than the answer. But we do have a lot of ways to make some space for the saying goodbye and then moving into what comes next. So on August 11th, which will be Reverend Sarah's last Sunday with us, please come for that service. That in itself is going to be a wonderful way to get to say goodbye. There's a reception after that will be beautiful and we'll have time for celebration and for sharing of memories. There is also, you have to plug your ears. There was an email that went out around July 7th that those of you who are on our happenings list would have gotten. It was separate from happenings. If you did not get that, please see me or Steve Tani, who is our moderator. That has some other things that are going on and some other ways that you might want to show appreciation and say goodbye at this time, and we would love to fill you in with those. And I know that Sarah and Beth have some plans for celebrating with the congregation as well that she's going to say more about. August 18th will be a service that will have some time to honor the transition that we're in. We have a special guest preacher coming that Sunday. That's Reverend Dr. Jenny Witcher, who is the founder of Juniper Formation, which is an online community. And she will be here with some rituals for us and some blessings for us as a community in this time. And then down the road, at some point that we have not determined yet, there will be a service of installation that'll officially be kind of the time to gather together and mark this transition. So there's a lot of opportunities. And take the time to say goodbye well. I am not asking anybody to move through that too quickly, right? There's no competition here. So say goodbye the way you need to say goodbye.
Okay, our next question is, can you tell us something you want us to know? Now, for me, where I went with this question was to another question. What do you need to hear? And honestly, that's a version of a question that I ask every week or every time I put together a service of worship. What do people need to hear? But not just in a way that appeases, in a way that shares the truth, and sometimes the hard truth, of the gospel, or of what it means to follow Jesus. And each time I ask that question, in each service that is prepared, I imagine different people, never the same and never everybody. Because for me, it's the intimacy of trying to get to that, what is sacred and deeply true. And so, sincerely, I want to ask you the question, what do you need to hear? And I want to invite you to try to see the different layers of that, of how that question might rest within you. And the aim here is to go deep. What do you need to hear? Take a moment to quietly ponder that, and then if anyone's willing, we'd love to hear your responses. Oh, already, good. We're going to take a quiet moment first, and then we'll get right into folks who are wanting to share or ask another question. So let's see. Well, let me turn this on.
Hi, my name is Mary, and one of the things that I found, I'm a member at Planet Fitness, and when you walk in there, there's a huge sign that says, "You belong." Everybody wants to hear, "I love you," everybody wants to hear all kinds of stuff, but belonging is what would matter to me, and I think to most, and that you belong to God.
Thank you. Anybody else?
To me, the basic answer is, how do I get through the night? And by that, I mean the hard times. Where's the hope?
Where's the hope?
I think my question for you is, and in the process of helping grieve your leaving, is the opportunity to celebrate what your transition will be and where you're going. And so my question is, what are your plans for you and Beth, and how can we help to celebrate that change? And that helps me to handle the grief of you leaving.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? We have another question. I've been thinking of rites in the church, baptism, confirmation, marriage, etc., and wondering how our congregation could use rites to recognize or celebrate milestones with a spiritual emphasis. And just to help with this question a little bit, it might help to know that rites are basically community celebrations. They're life cycle events in some cases. And some of the things that came to mind, and we want to hear, what we want to invite you to in this question is, what would you like to see the church celebrate? What could be a rite that is not sort of listed in the seven things that are sacramental, right? So birth or baptism, communion, a memorial service, marriage, and those things. So yeah, we have.
Hi, I'm Karen, and I have one because I just went through it on Monday, but my son and daughter-in-law have not been able to have children. So they were lucky enough to end up adopting my daughter-in-law's sister's child because there were a lot of issues, and she had no place to go, really, and she was 2 at the time. So they've had her for 2 years, and just celebrating an adoption
Beautiful.
was wonderful.
Beautiful. Yep. Yep. What else? One of the things that came to mind for me was a name-changing ceremony. This is popular in the trans community, but not limited to the trans community. Some people taking on new names at different points.
So my name is Deb, and I'm new here. I moved here from Omaha, and one of the things that we did, we had a blessing of the pets. And it was really cool.
Yep.
It was a Saturday morning, and
Yep.
yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Great. Blessing of pets. Amelia, you had one that you thought of. Oh, then we'll come right back to Kurt.
Yeah, I think the life cycle events are so important, but I also just think of the things that come around me yearly, like birthdays or anniversaries of things, and that church communities can find ways to celebrate those in the service with a birthday blessing, or acknowledging people who are observing anniversaries. whether that's a wedding or something else. So I'd like to continue to ponder possibilities for the way those things might also show up.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Kirk Thomas. Actually, Amelia's thoughts were similar to mine. There's so many in our congregation who are older, and we don't really celebrate them until they leave. And I wish we could figure out some way to celebrate the rich lives of so many people in this room who are still with us.
Nice. Nice. Lots of possibilities. Oh, we have another one. Okay.
I was able to bang a gong,
Oh, yep.
and I was really grateful.
Yeah. So the ringing of a bell or the banging of a gong at the end of some kind of treatment, yeah, that's really special.
We have our last question, which again is a question back to you. And this one is, what are the questions that you have? Sometimes when we ask questions, they lead to more questions, right? So there might have been something that came up related to something we talked about. There might have been something completely different. And I hope you noticed that there was a variety of questions. There wasn't a strict limit to what you could ask. So we'd like to invite you to take a minute to write down any other questions that came for you. And you have this more questions place in your bulletin. And we would really love to see these questions if you're open to sharing them. But regardless, let's just take a minute and jot down the questions that came for you. Questions are a form of prayer. They're a way of connecting with God. I think it's one of the things that Jesus is getting at when he says knock and seek. And so as we turn to this time of prayer, feel free to continue writing your questions. And as you finish that up, we will rise in spirit and sing from Sing 122, Pray.
For peace within our souls.
As we turn to this time of spoken and quiet prayer, if you are here in the sanctuary, hold your bulletins in an open hand in whatever way you can. And if, I don't know, I haven't tested this, if this is too awkward to balance, hold just open hands. And let us pray together. God of the questions, hear all of the things that are on our hearts today. Hear the questions of healing. Hear the questions of pain. Hear the questions of transition. Hear the questions of living well. Hear the question, how do we love you? Bless these questions and bless us in our asking of them. And assure us that even when there is uncertainty, you are close and you are working. We ask this in the name of the one who showed us the way. Amen.
We're going to rise in spirit again and sing hymn number 201, Deep Peace, in your sing hymnal. And let's sing this to one another, to folks who are both within this space and whatever space you're in, and folks who are beyond these walls and whatever walls where you are.
Good morning. I'm Steve Taney, a member of the Church Council, pronouns he, him, and his. It's good to be together this morning. A very special welcome to visitors and guests, and welcome back to those who haven't been here for a while. We're very happy that you are here. Karen Folgate will be taking pictures for a church directory after service today. Please see Karen in the Art Lounge after the service. In case you're wondering, the church directory is open to both members and folks who are not technically members. Adding your name and picture will be a great gift for Reverend Pedro when he comes. The Wednesday walking group will be on pause beginning in August. This Wednesday, the 31st of July, will be the last group walk for the remainder of the summer. You can also find other announcements and happenings and in the bulletin to keep you connected. If you would like to support UCC Longmont financially, you can give online at ucclongmont.org/giving or use the offering boxes at the back wall of the sanctuary. We are very grateful for all generosity. And that's it. Thank you and have a great week.
Actually, I have some late-breaking news. If you are a reader of our newsletter, which is really helpful because it has a lot of information, you know that Beth and I had invited everyone to an open house at a pizza place, and that fell through. So that's a boo. But we now have a plan B, which is on August 4th, after the service, the Sweet Cow ice cream truck is going to be here. So we've gone from boo to moo. Yeah, so, and there's even a better bonus for the 4th, because right after church, there's a church chat, and if you go to that, by the time you come outside, the line of all the kids and me will be dispersed, and then they will be ready to offer you some ice cream.
We should clap again for ice cream. I mentioned that if you wrote your questions down, that we would love to see those questions. There will be ongoing opportunities for discernment as we move into some next steps. So if you are open to maybe tearing that out of your bulletin or just giving me the whole thing, that will be helpful for the team that will convene to work on some discernment type gatherings. And with that in mind, let us return to that sense of belovedness that we began with. If the questions that came for you today brought any sense of unease, of uncertainty, return those to that place of belovedness. Friends, go out to be people of the question. Go out to love God with your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And as you do this, know that the love of God surrounds you. The light of God enfolds you, and wherever you are, God is. Go in peace.